Hi, it's Donna Guest, the Lazy Scrapbooker, and welcome to another Tuesday tip. This one was recorded live back in 2022, and it's a cute summer border that's perfect for the beach or the backyard. Let's get started.
So here's what you're going to need to create this. Now, I like my borders to have somewhat of a lazy component in pretty much everything I do. This one, the most lazy thing about this is I'm going to give you the measurements, and I'm going to show you a shortcut on how to do these umbrellas. So you need your custom cutting system mat. You need the circle patterns. Specifically, we're going to use the middle circle. So I'll put those aside. We're going to use the middle one. We're going to use the green and the blue blades. Then we need our 12-inch trimmer, and we're going to use the straight blade and the wavy blade. Hey, and if you don't have some of this stuff, it's okay. You just make it your own. And then we're going to use the fun striped umbrella punch. Then we're going to need, I'm using a few adhesives. You don't have to use this many, but this is what makes it easier to me. For the umbrella, I'm using my repositionable tape runner and some parchment paper to do that on. Then for everything else, I'm using my regular tape runner. And then I'm also going to use the adhesive pin, and that's the glue pin. I'm shaking it because you can hear glue shaking around in there. And that should be it here. Now, I'm doing this with sun rays for days. So the first thing we're going to do is punch these umbrellas. I'm going to scoot everything to the side and start punching umbrellas. Now, I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6 different patterns. I think just 5. So we're going to punch these umbrellas. And I'll just put this paper aside. And I think for some reason I need 2 with the blue. I'm going to do that. I'll have an extra umbrella. But just the patterns work a little better that way.
You can use any papers you like. The more colorful, the better.
And this is a great little punch. You see it's not causing, it's very intricate, but it's not causing me any troubles or anything, not getting stuck. So now we are done with the umbrella punch. I'm going to put that aside. Normally this would be trashed. Not today. We're going to use it. So I'm going to create these. Now next, before we attach these, I'm just going to put these to the side here. I don't want to lose them. Now we're going to create our circles. And I've written this down for you, and I'll put it up again at the end of the video as well. So the small circle right here, I'm using this paper right here out of Sun Rays for Days. And it's got a little bit of writing on it. If you can see that, it says things like sunshine, swim, relaxing. You can do this with any papers that you have. And I'm going to use that middle size circle pattern, and I'm going to use the blue blade. Now I'm going to go ahead and open these up. Okay, and as you may know, if you've used these before, there's a different distance between the prongs and the blade, and that is what creates different size circles. So we're going to be using the inside track, the smaller one, and so the blue, because it has the biggest difference, it's going to make the smaller circle. So I'm going to quickly do 5 circles, and you notice I may be overlapping them. That's okay, that just conserves a little paper because there's so much space there, but I do have to go down here for this last one. Okay, very quick, works beautifully. And the custom cutting system is perfect for paper or for cutting your photos. Okay, next we're going to cut the backing. While we've got our circle cutter out, we're going to do, I used a navy cardstock here. So now I'm going to make a little bit larger circle, and I'm going to use the green blade. The difference between these is 1/8 inch. So you're going to get that 1/8 inch border around. Now that's the difference on the side. I guess if you measure the actual circle, I guess it'd be a 1/4 inch difference since you have an 1/8 inch on both sides. Oops, there we go. Okay, so I'll put that aside. Okay, now I'm going to start attaching these. Just do them all at once to make it quick. Tape runner, a little bit on everything there. Okay, perfect. Now we're ready to attach our umbrellas. And I'm going to make this easy. So I'm using parchment paper. Great way to attach something with the repositionable tape runner because nothing sticks to parchment paper. And of course you can also use the back of a sticker sheet should you ever empty a sheet of stickers. I have a hard time doing that. So I'm just putting it all on everything all at once. Try not to make a big mess here. Okay, so now I'm going to start attaching just a little umbrella. And I'm going to attach them straight with the words, centering it there. Batching all these little tasks make this so much faster instead of doing one umbrella at a time. It would not be a very quick border if we did that. So I'm done with the parchment paper. I'm even done with the repositionable tape runner. So here's a nice little shortcut for all of this. But what you want to do, instead of doing a repositionable tape runner on all these pieces, that just is awful. You want to just squeeze a little bit of the pen here. And notice I'm just coloring it in. I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm going to go ahead and put glue on all of this. I did it that way a while ago and it still stayed sticky. So I'm just coloring a little bit there. I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to come out the edges. Okay, and now we can start attaching this. So basically you're using the negative pieces, as they're called, and putting them in the appropriate umbrellas. They all match, and fortunately the right and the left side are exactly the same. So it's very easy to do this. This is my favorite use so far of the adhesive pen. I don't use it a lot anymore since we do have the repositionable tape runner. I find I use that so much, but this time the adhesive pen is the winner. And look how fast this is going. So batch these little tasks here, and that makes this super fast. I did it. I did all the umbrellas. Boom, done. And I have a few little extras because I did punch one extra umbrella for the color combinations. All right, now we've got all our umbrellas made. Now we're going to make 3 simple borders. And again, use whatever paper that you like. I'm going to go so it will match with this striped paper behind my circles. And this one, here's the measurements. I'm going to put them right here. It's going to be 2.5 inches by 12. So we're going to go with 2.5 inches. Make sure I have my straight blade in. I do. I've already made that mistake today. Okay, and while I've got my trimmer here on the table, let's cut the next one. This one, next one has the wavy blade. So to save time, I'm going to skip and do the one with a straight blade. And it's 3 inches by 12 inches. Okay, easy. Now we're going to switch out the blade, and you don't have to have this, it's okay, and the wavy blade. Now, depending on how you put your paper in, it will either make waves or little pointy dents. So the easiest way to do this, I'm going to start on this side for a blank piece of paper, I always cut off the first like this. So I made a note to myself to put the logo the opposite way to the right. So the logo on the blade is facing the right. Perfect, and now we have the little wave. Okay, so now we're just going to turn the paper around 180 degrees, and this one is 2 3/4 inches. Okay, and so we get the little wavy side on the other side there, and it looks perfect. And now the easy part is just the assembly. I'll put this right here, and I'm using regular tape runner for this. I don't plan on making any mistakes at this point, although you never know. I'll tell you, this second border is going a lot faster than the first one, so you can benefit from having all these little measurements already. And so now when centering these, I'm going to center the border on my mat from 12 inches all the way across, and I'm going to put the first, let me go ahead and put tape runner on all these at the same time. Again, the fewer times you have to pick up your tape runner, the faster you're going to scrapbook. So here's my blue. I'm going to do kind of the opposite tilt. I don't know why I'm making them exactly the same, but I'm centering it along this middle line, and great to have this striped paper because I can make sure they're all even. I'm going to take one over here at the other side and put it over here, and then I'm going to do the one over here. So it's always easiest to go center, the outside, and then do the ones in between to make sure that everything is spaced as evenly as you can. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to put a sticker on here, but I think I might. Okay, very good. And I'm going to use a foam square to give this little beach ball a little bit of lift. And there's a little beach ball right there, but I'll make sure I can still read Backyard Gatherings. Wonderful. That's such a fun little border. I hope you have fun making that.
You'll find the links to the products used in this video in the video description.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you look forward to the next Tuesday tip right here each Tuesday.